Agatha is an energetic 10-year-old girl in Twilight Princess, who lives alone in a large castle-like house within the south world of Castletown. Agatha is known as a princess of the Insect Kingdom, a nickname she gave herself and likes. She has a great passion for bugs of all kind, but while she collects many different insects, Agatha is an avid butterfly collector. As a result of this, her dream is to invite all of the golden bugs to her house for a ball. She can either be found at her home or at the southern gate of Castletown during the daytime. But one of the most interesting characteristics about Agatha is her looks and where her home is located. While Agatha is considered Hylian, it is also possible that she may have Kokiri ancestry. This seems possible because she is a child who lives alone without an adult. She has a tree inside her home, which may be a reference to Kokiri Forest, and her overall appearance, such as her blonde pigtails, matches that of a Kokiri. From what we see in Twilight Princess, the Kokiri are long gone and extinct, but the Ordon village evolved from what became the Kokiri Forest. As for the Kokiri themselves, we don't know what happened to them, but some speculate that they evolved into these monkeys, but that will be for another theory. But for Agatha to have Kokiri ancestry would mean that one of the Kokiris had gotten married with another Hylian, as Agatha is defined as a Hylian, according to the game. This would certainly be most interesting, as Kokiri are not allowed to leave the forest according to the Great Deku Tree, for they will die. But at the end of the game in Ocarina of Time, you can clearly see them in Lon Lon Rant, so it may not be true, but we would discuss that in another theory. However, since they're extinct in this game, that could be the reasoning as to why the Kokiri die, because they eventually left the forest and died. But the main theory that I want to get to is that Agatha may be schizophrenic. For those of you who don't know what that means, it means a disorder that affects a person's ability to think, feel, and behave clearly. Someone with schizophrenia may have difficulty distinguishing between what is real and what is imaginary, may be unresponsive or withdrawn, and may have difficulty expressing normal emotions in social situations. If you look at Agatha's character overall, she seems to match the description. She has an obsessive hobby with collecting bugs, and even believes herself to be the princess of bugs. She often has weird monologues and descriptions of the bug, making her, in my opinion, one of the creepiest characters in the Zelda series, as the way she talks is just plain scary. If approached in wolf form in Hyrule Field, Agatha does not flee in fear like virtually all other Castletown citizens, or like a little girl would be expected to. Rather, she calls Link Puppy, asking if he would like to play, but anyone seeing Wolf Link would run away in danger and cry. However, Agatha's innocent childlike delusions prevent her from recognizing the danger. Upon growing up in the city, Agatha had obviously never seen wolves before, the closest being are domesticated dogs, which are common in Castletown. Her mind rejected the danger of a wolf, and turned it into the most familiar and pleasant thing it could, a playful puppy. Delusions preventing mental illness, and poses a varying degree of danger to themselves or others. Agatha's imagination and delusions match this to a startling degree. One can only imagine what would have happened differently if the wolf in fact would not have been Link, but rather an actual greyhound strayed far from the mountainous regions of Snow Peak. If approached in human form, Agatha's perception of reality is still cloudy. Though Link is simply wearing green clothing, her immediate perceptions preferred to recognize him as a giant grasshopper, possibly because she was currently searching for insects. If approached in Zora armor garb, she mistakes him for a jewel beetle. Also, one of the symptoms of this disease is having a blank, permanent facial expression. This fits Agatha very well because Agatha is able to express emotion quite easily, though it seems to be only happiness. She is set permanently with the dreamy stare in her drooped eyes and only changes expressions when Link presents her with a bug or when she closes her eyes and smiles wide when daydreaming. She is often unable to break from her dreamy gaze and smile, only able to convey her gratitude and desire for more bugs through body language, making a pleading gesture with her hands to Link while asking for more bugs. Being schizophrenic also has the effects of lights being too bright and sounds being too loud for the victim. She can tell Link has golden bugs in his bags by simply sniffing, and if he attempts to leave with them, she accusingly states, "I know you have bugs," even sensing their presence from far across the room. See? I told you she was creepy, right? She also seems to have no sense of direction of purpose in life's activities other than collecting bugs. More symptoms of this mental disease include social isolation from people in general. Agatha's only true friend seems to be Link. Even her fanboy seems inclined to spy on her, watching her at a distance from the window, instead of directly interacting with her. He tells Link, "If you have bugs, then watch out," possibly implying that he is hesitant to interact with her out of fear or ineducation on her personality and mental illness. He is the only person in Castletown who seems to know or be aware of her. The next symptom is making inappropriate responses, or making uncomfortable statements. Agatha's various responses to receiving each bug have been perceived as unusual or disturbing to many players. She talks about how pleasant the pincers of the stag beetle must feel, what a nice pillow a giant pill bug would make, or how she would love to bathe in the slime of snails. While searching for insects in Hyrule Field, she can be heard constantly giggling in an almost eerie way, which is another variation of this symptom. And finally, the worst symptom that I think gives it away for Agatha is her illusions of titles and role. Agatha truly believes she is a princess of the Insect Kingdom, though as stated before, this may be a misinterpretation of her true royal status. But I will get to that later. These symptoms, along with other stated evidence, seem to convey to me that Agatha is schizophrenic or otherwise mentally ill. But now let's talk about Agatha's social status. It is quite possible that her great wealth and castle are a result of her quite possibly being in the royal family, or one of Zelda's direct relatives or heirs, and is deemed mentally unfit for a scheduled royal castle life, and thus is provided with her flat on the western thoroughfare as well as a limitless supply of rupees to fulfill her wishes. In other words, given the same royal treatment as Zelda and various other titles, further supporting her status as a princess or lady, though simply unexcused from the rigid castle life that the reigning monarchs of Hyrule are set with. In Twilight Princess, Zelda is presumably the only current ruler of the Hyrulean monarchy. If Agatha were mentally fit for royal life, one could assume she may have been scheduled castle duties as a princess, similar to Zelda in Spirit Tracks. But we should ask ourselves, why does Agatha live alone? Well, there is another theory stating that Agatha is of Hyrulean royal family descent. Just look at how many rupees she gives to Link, if ever given an amount of golden bugs. She has thousands and thousands in her possession. The only possible explanation is that she is connected to the royal family, but there is more evidence. Look at the clothes that she is wearing. Her clothing looks much more expensive than what the average person in Castletown is wearing. But then again, it could be because of the game's graphical limitation in an area. From this evidence, it can be assumed quite confidently that Agatha is connected in some way to the Hyrulean royal family. Being a monarchy, essentially the only wealthy branch of power in Castletown, her overall physical appearance seems extremely reminiscent to that of Zelda in Ocarina of Time and various other titles. Light-skinned with blonde hair and blue eyes. But why is she living in her own castle if she has connection to the royal family? Well, it could be possible, like I stated earlier, her mental illness was just too much for the family, so they decided it would be best for her to live alone. There's even another theory that Agatha killed her own parents and took their wealth. I wouldn't be surprised if that were true, just because of how crazy she is, but I think her being connected to the royal family is more plausible. While Zelda's coronation from princess to queen was scheduled to be mere days before Xanth's invasion, this would place Agatha as a member of the royal family to either directly a princess or lady-in-waiting. Agatha's promotion from lady to princess may just be the special occasion she was holding the Golden Bug Ball for in the first place. Just imagine a Zelda game where Agatha takes over as queen. There would be giant Queen Gomas, Scotulas, and all types of bugs running across Hyrule Field and the Kingdom of Hyrule. Most certainly, a game I would not want to play, as I have arachnophobia. In conclusion, I find it to be very plausible that our princess friend Agatha has schizophrenia, and that she also has connections to the royal family, and perhaps just might be related to the Kokiri. Hey everyone, thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed the video, Please like this video and subscribe, as I have more Zelda and Nintendo content coming soon. I have a new series where I will analyze items from video games, and another new series that I cannot give info on yet, as I want to surprise you guys. I hope for them both to be out a week or two from now. With that said, thanks for watching, and Zelda Conqueror, signing out.